Hello friends, welcome to UGC EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Jitendra Sarova, Associate Professor, Department of Geography, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar College, University of Delhi. Today I am going to elaborate upon humid mesothermal climates which come under the paper Climatology. First of all, let us discuss what could be the learning outcomes of this module. While going through this module, you will be able to understand the meaning of humid mesothermal climates. You will be able to differentiate between various types of humid mesothermal climates. You will be able to describe the distinctive characteristic features of humid mesothermal climates. You will be able to identify climatic regions of humid mesothermal climates, to establish interrelationship between temperature, precipitation and natural vegetation. You will also be able to highlight the role of various determinants of humid mesothermal climates. And finally, you will be able to explain the role of air masses and fronts in determining the weather conditions of mesothermal climates. You all very well know that temperature decreases from equator to pole. On the basis of temperature at macro level, the world is divided into three climatic zones: tropical, temperate and polar. On the basis of temperature and precipitation, Köppen recognized two groups of humid mid-latitude or temperate climates. The one group adjoining the tropics has mild winters and it is symbolized by letter C, and the other towards the polar region experiences severe winters. It is represented by symbol letter capital D. In these groups, the precipitation exceeds evapotranspiration. Therefore, these are humid climates. The first group represents humid mesothermal climates and the second represents the humid microthermal climates. The humid mesothermal climates include following three major types. The first one is moist subtropical climate. The second one is Mediterranean climate, and finally the third one is marine west coast climate. In this module, our focus is on all these three types of humid mesothermal climates. Let us come to the bases and types of humid mesothermal climates. Humid mesothermal climates are humid because in these climates precipitation exceeds evaporation. These climates have warm winters. The average temperature of the coldest month is in the range of -3 degrees Celsius to 18 degrees Celsius, and the average temperature of the warmest month is about 10 degrees Celsius. Instead of -3 degrees Celsius temperature of the coldest month, scholar Trivartha and many other climatologists have preferred to use 0 degrees Celsius for determining humid mesothermal climates. At macro level, the humid mesothermal climate type or group is represented by letter symbol C, capital C. In determining the subtypes or the second order, seasonal distribution of precipitation is taken into consideration. The areas receiving rainfall throughout the year are represented by symbol F, and the areas which remain dry during summer but wet in winter are represented by symbol S. Further classification is done on the basis of summer season temperatures. Hot summers and cool summers are represented by symbols small a and small b respectively. The humid mesothermal climates have been identified in this module on the basis of generalization of Köppen, Trivartha and Stroller's climatic classifications. Let us come to the discussion about all these three types one by one. The first major type of humid mesothermal climate is humid subtropical climate. It is also known as temperate rainy climate with hot summers. It is characterized by hot summers, mild winters, and throughout the year precipitation. Therefore, in the Köppen's climatic classification scheme, it is symbolized as CFA. During summer hot and sultry weather conditions of the type expected in the rainy tropics prevail in this climatic region. Besides these, convectional rainfall in summer is another salient feature commonly shared with humid tropical climates. On the contrary, during winter, because of change in the overhead position of the sun and shifting of pressure and wind belts, and the humid subtropical climate regions are placed under the influence of temperate cyclones and frontal systems. It is noteworthy that the Mediterranean climate occupies the western side of the continents, whereas humid subtropical climate is located on the eastern sides. The distribution of humid subtropical climate is mainly on the eastern sides of the continents in the 25 to 40 degree latitudinal range in both the hemispheres. As compared to the southern hemisphere, land masses are more extensive in the middle latitudes in the northern hemisphere. Therefore, this climate occupies much larger areas in the northern hemisphere. This climate prevails in the southeastern United States and the other similarly situated areas, all of Uruguay, southern Brazil, and northeastern Argentina in South America, eastern China, particularly south of Huanghe River, and southernmost Japan in East Asia, and southeast coast of South Africa, that is Natal region, and eastern coast of Australia have this type of climate. On the basis of its distribution, this climate is also known as China type or Gulf type or Natal type. Let us now come to temperature characteristics of humid subtropical climates. The temperature values in this climate reflect that the summer temperatures are comparable to the tropics and the winter values are markedly lower. Summer season average temperature range is 16 to 26 degrees Celsius. Humid subtropical regions have mild winters. The average temperature for winter months vary from 3 degrees Celsius to 13 degrees Celsius. In this climate region, winters are comparatively severe in China as well as in United States. In case of China, these areas are invaded by cold polar winds during winter. In case of United States, intrusions of cold continental polar air masses result in a very severe cold weather. In winter too, the high relative humidity associated with the passage of temperate cyclones and frontal systems makes the cold humid weather uncomfortable. In the southern hemisphere, due to lack of continentality, the winters are not that severe. The annual range of temperature in humid subtropical climates is moderate. However, there are wide variations in the annual temperature ranges depending upon the latitudinal position and continentality. Due to favorable temperature regime, the length of the growing season is long, that is around 8 to 12 months. Frost is a rare phenomena in the subtropical climate, but on certain winter nights, frost occurs and damages the more sensitive crops. In the northern hemisphere, killing frosts are more frequent than in the southern hemisphere. After temperature, let us come to precipitation characteristics. In humid subtropical climate, the average annual precipitation is in the range of 75 to 150 centimeter. Generally, its distribution decreases towards interiors. Precipitation is distributed throughout the year and it exceeds potential evapotranspiration. Generally, precipitation maxima are found in summer, but there are considerable variations. For instance, in the United States, precipitation in the Gulf states is very uniformly distributed, but northward or towards drier western margins, much more precipitation takes place in summer. In this climate, onshore trade winds bring precipitation. During summer months, warm and moist, unstable, maritime tropical air masses move inland from the western portions of the oceanic subtropical anticyclones. As these air masses pass over the heated continent, they become unstable and give rise to convectional rainfall and thunderstorms. These areas experience thunderstorms for around 40 to 100 days each year. The frequency is highest during summer season. Sometimes these storms are very violent and develop into hurricanes or typhoons. Hurricanes in Southeast Asia and Gulf of Mexico and typhoons in China Sea. Thus, the late summer precipitation maximum may be the result of combined effect of convectional activity, tropical depressions, and the monsoon system of winds. The winter precipitation is also different in character. Sometimes it is in the form of snow and most is generated along fronts of the frequent temperate cyclones which sweep over the regions in winter season. Winter precipitation is more widespread. You very well know that temperature and precipitation play vital role in determining natural vegetation. The humid subtropical climate experiences abundant precipitation and it is well distributed over the year. It has hot summers and mild winters with long growing season. All such available situations are highly suitable to the growth of natural vegetation. Evergreen oak and magnolia flourish in broadleaf evergreen forest. Towards more humid tropical margins, the natural vegetation consists of evergreen forests, while poleward areas with severe winters and lower temperatures and low winter precipitation are covered with deciduous forests. The regions located towards the drier steppe climate have grasslands. Today, large areas of former forests have been replaced by agricultural croplands. The second major type of humid mesothermal climate is subtropical dry summer or Mediterranean climate. The subtropical dry summer climate is characterized by dry summers, as indicated in the name itself, mild rainy winter and abundant sunshine. These characteristics make it ideal as resort climate of the world. Due to dry summer conditions, it is known as CS climate symbolically. Let us have idea about its distribution. The dry summer subtropical climate is typically located along the west side of continents between 30 to 45 degree latitudes in both the hemispheres. This climate prevails over about 1.7% of the Earth's land area in the following 5 regions: the borderland of Mediterranean Sea, starting from north of the Mediterranean Sea, from Portugal to Turkey and beyond in the Iranian highlands. The southern borderland includes Morocco, northern Algeria and Tunisia, and the central and southern California coast in the United States of America, the central and southern Chile, the Cape Town area of South America, the southern and southwestern coasts of Australia. Because of the arrangement of continents and the mountain ranges, this climate is limited to coastal areas, and inland development occurs only in Mediterranean basin. The most important controlling factor that produces Mediterranean type of climate is the shifting of belts. In these areas, during the summer, trade winds operate as offshore winds and dry conditions prevail. But during winter, due to southward shifting of winds and pressure belts, these areas come under the influence of onshore westerlies and precipitation takes place. This way, middle latitude changeability characterizes the winter and tropical constancy describes the summer. Let us come to temperature characteristics of this climate. The average temperature of the coldest month in Mediterranean climate is in the range of 7 to 10 degrees Celsius, and of the hottest month between 19 and 27 degrees Celsius. The mean annual ranges are between 12 and 17 degrees Celsius. The mean annual range of temperature are less than those of the most cool temperate climates and greater than those of dry tropical climates. The annual range of temperature, however, increases with distance from sea. At San Francisco, it is only 9 degrees Celsius, but at Sacramento, it is 17 degrees Celsius, and further inward, it increases to around 20 degrees Celsius. Stations that are located further away from marine influence record highest summer temperatures, whereas coastal locations have low summer temperatures due to the presence of the cold ocean currents which run parallel to the western coast in these latitudes. Due to the absence of cold ocean currents in coastal parts of the Mediterranean Sea, summer temperatures are much higher. For instance, the average temperature of July month at Rome is 24.4 degrees Celsius and at Izmir 28 degrees Celsius. Within Mediterranean climate, two subtypes are identified primarily on the basis of summer season temperatures. The first one is the cool summer type, which is represented by symbol CSB, and its representative station is San Francisco, Santiago and in Chile, and it is confined to coastal areas. Here cooling effect is intensified by the cold ocean currents. In the second type, it is known as the warm summer Mediterranean climate. Temperatures are noticeably higher and winter variation is negligible. In case of warm summer dry subtropical climate, along with continentality, the absence of cold ocean current influence tropical high pressure systems also cause summer temperatures to be higher. Because of clear weather, the average summer temperatures in lower latitudes and inland stations are more than 21 degrees Celsius or even 27 degrees Celsius. Further, contributory factors in increasing the temperature are clear skies, almost vertical rays of the sun, and the low relative humidity. Daytime maximum temperatures may reach 32 to 38 degrees Celsius. Like the dry climates, due to rapid loss of heat by nocturnal radiation, the night temperatures record considerable drop. Thus, the diurnal range of temperature is considerably large, particularly in the drier Mediterranean climates. The diurnal range of temperature for Sacramento in the month of July is about 20 degrees Celsius. Frost is uncommon in Mediterranean climate, but there are occasional frosts which are injurious to crops like citrus fruits. Even one day's frost proves fatal to such crops because these are very sensitive crops. The precipitation characteristics of this climate are unique. The Mediterranean climate has rainy winter and dry summer. This climate receives moderate to scanty precipitation. That is why some climatologists prefer it as subhumid climate instead of humid. It is especially true along the equatorial margins. The average annual precipitation is usually between 40 to 80 centimeter. About 75% of the total precipitation is received during winter. Since there is almost complete drought in summer, it is called the summer dry subtropical climate. As this climate is located between the dry climates found equatorward and marine west coast climate poleward, it is natural that the amount of precipitation goes on increasing from its equatorward to poleward margins. For instance, Los Angeles receives 38 centimeter rainfall. San Francisco, which is located around 400 km north of it, receives 51 centimeter. And further northward, Portland receives around about 90 centimeter precipitation. Besides, there is also an increase in precipitation from the inland to coastal locations. In the northern hemisphere, the Mediterranean climate receives most of its precipitation during December and March, while in the southern hemisphere, the rainy season lasts from May to August. During winter, the Mediterranean regions are occupied by the west wind belt, so precipitation results mainly from the temperate cyclones moving with the westerlies. In coastal regions backed by mountains, orographic precipitation is also common. As majority of the precipitation is received during winter, the precipitation effectiveness is high. Within the rainy season, there are many days of fine and sunny weather. In the Mediterranean climate, snowfall is a rare phenomena except in highland areas. In this climate, precipitation is low and variability of precipitation is high. Therefore, the reliability is low. The range of precipitation variability in Chile varies from 18% to 226%. This characteristic of the climate has compelled the farmers to develop means of irrigation for their market crops. Vegetation of the Mediterranean climate is well adapted to the long summer drought. Trees and scrub that can survive here are characteristically equipped with small, hard or thick leaves that restrict water loss through transpiration. These plants are mainly hard-leaved. Much of the natural vegetation consists of plants possessing moisture conserving devices such as tough surfaces, small, rolled, shiny, thick leaves that restrict moisture loss, and deep roots to be able to suck up soil moisture. In the areas having enough precipitation, pine, oak, cork oak, cedar, walnut and chestnut trees are also common. In Western Australia, there are vast strands of eucalyptus trees, low scrubby bushes growing together in a thick tangle form the most characteristic natural vegetation of this climate. In California, this type of vegetation is called chaparral, which is often threatened by wildfire. Chaparral acts as a check against soil erosion during the periods of rains. This scrub is called maquis in France, matorral in Chile and mallee in Australia. There is abundance of drought resistant fruits like olive or irrigated citrus fruits. Long summer drought encourages fruit growing. Olive, fig and grapes are the native fruits of Mediterranean climate, which are well adapted to drought conditions. However, peaches, oranges, lemons etc. are grown on the irrigated lands. Now let us come to the third major type of humid mesothermal climate, which is known as marine west coast climate. Köppen called it temperate rainy climate with warm summer. As this warm temperate climate has precipitation throughout the year and summers are cool, it is represented by symbol CFB. As far as distribution is concerned, marine west coast climate occupies windward western sides of mid-latitude continents between 40 to 65 degree north and south latitudes. Onshore westerlies along with maritime air masses prevail throughout the year. This ensures mild winters, cool summers and ample precipitation throughout the year. In North America, this marine west coast climate occupies narrow coastal belt from near the US-Canada border up to the southern Alaska, where its border matches with the subarctic climate of Canada and Alaska. A similar narrow strip extends along the coast in Chile, South America. In these two coastal belts, high mountains run parallel to the coast. Therefore, marine climate influence is restricted to the coastal region. The largest area of this climate is in Europe, where it extends along the west coast up to 68 degree north Norway. The northward extension of this climate is made possible by the moderating influence of North Atlantic drift, which is a warm ocean current. As there is no mountain barrier blocking the movement of cool maritime air from North Atlantic, the climatic conditions prevail far inland. The most extensive development of this climate is found in Western Europe, including Great Britain, northwestern France, Germany, Denmark, Holland, Belgium and Norway. The other locations include most of the New Zealand, island of Tasmania, as well as tiny slivers of South Africa and Australia. Let us have understanding about temperature characteristics of this climate. In this climate, temperatures are modified by the marine influence of warm ocean currents. Therefore, there are no significant seasonal extremes of temperature. Keeping in view the latitudinal position, this climate has small annual range of temperature. Summers are relatively cool and winters are relatively mild. The annual range of temperature is low. The oceanic control of temperature is also visible in thermal gradients. Although this climate prevails in wide latitudinal zone, temperature changes much more abruptly, moving towards continental interiors, that is from east to west rather than in north-south direction. This is because the transport of heat from oceans is far more than through solar radiation. In marine west coast climate, summers are cool. Average summer month temperatures are in the range of 14 to 18 degrees Celsius. The climate being humid, night temperatures are not as low as in the Mediterranean climate. Therefore, the diurnal range of temperature is low. For instance, in the month of July, the diurnal range of temperature at Seattle is 10 degrees Celsius. The ocean is near, so winters are mild and summers are relatively cool. Therefore, a low annual temperature range is characteristic of marine west coast climate. Taking into consideration the latitudinal position, the winters are mild in this climatic region. In the coastal regions of the Western Europe, a positive departure of temperature in the range of 11 to 17 degrees Celsius is common. In Western Europe, the average temperatures during the coldest month, which is January month, vary from 2 to 10 degrees Celsius. At the same time, continental interiors of Eurasia have average temperatures in the range of -18 to -40 degrees Celsius. In winter season, occasional invasions of continental polar air masses bring cold spells. These cold spells reduce the temperatures to below freezing. Frost is severe and very frequent towards interiors. However, this climate has a long growing season of nearly about 8 months. As far as precipitation is concerned, the marine west coast climate receives adequate precipitation throughout the year. Depending on topography and distance from sea, the amount of precipitation is characterized by intense spatial variations. In European lowlands, the average annual precipitation varies from 50 to 100 centimeter, but on the windward side of the coastal ranges, it is about 250 centimeter. Here, the orographic uplift tends to increase the precipitation. Andes in Chile and Rockies in North America get abundant precipitation on their windward, which one side? Western sides, by temperate cyclones as well as orographic uplift of maritime air masses under the influence of westerlies. Although there is abundant precipitation well distributed throughout the year, but as compared to summers, winters are foggier, cloudier, stormier and rainier. At many stations in this climate region, the reduced summer rainfall is due to the poleward shifting of oceanic subtropical highs. Although the areas of this climate are too far poleward to be dominated by these dry anticyclones, their influence is sufficient to cause decline in summer rainfall. In coastal areas, maximum precipitation takes place during winter, but in continental interiors, it is highest during summer. Due to marine influence, winters are mild and snowfall is less frequent as compared with the other climates of these latitudes. The lowland stations such as Seattle, Paris and London on an average have 10 to 14 days as snow days. However, snow days increase polewards and towards the continental interiors. Heavy snowfall occurs in highland areas and they remain snow covered for several months. Due to mild winters and abundant precipitation, the natural vegetation of marine west coast climate is forest. The density and rate of growth is higher in more humid areas. The forest consists of broadleaf deciduous and needle-leaf conifer trees. Pine, cedar, hemlock, fir and cypress constitute the finest timber trees. Deciduous trees are oak, beech, birch, walnut, maple and chestnut. The finest conifer forests with best type of softwood timber are located in the northwestern coast of North America. These are dominated by redwoods and Douglas firs. However, most of these forests in Europe have been cleared due to the process of industrialization, urbanization and agricultural expansion. Let us come to the summary and broad conclusions of our discussion so far. Humid mesothermal climates occur in middle latitudes where the average temperature of the coldest month is less than 18 degrees Celsius but more than -3 degrees Celsius. The first major type, humid subtropical climate with hot summers, prevails on the eastern side of continents in the 25 to 40 degree latitudinal range. It is characterized by hot summers, mild winters and precipitation throughout the year. Mediterranean climate is typically found along the western sides of continents between latitudinal range 30 to 45 degree in both the hemispheres. This climate is characterized by dry summer, mild rainy winter and abundant sunshine. The most important controlling factor that produces Mediterranean type of climate is shifting of wind belts. During summer season in these areas trade winds operate as offshore winds and dry conditions prevail. During winter rainfall takes place due to westerlies. Marine west coast climate, which is symbolized as CFB, occupies the windward, that is western side of mid latitude continents, mainly between 40 to 65 degree north and south latitudes. Onshore westerlies along with maritime air masses prevail throughout the year. This ensures mild winters, cool summers and ample precipitation throughout the year. Temperature in the marine west coast climate are influenced to a large extent by the oceanic influence and by the warm ocean currents. That's all as far as humid mesothermal climates and subtypes are concerned. Thank you very much.